Well, guys, I'll update you on my experience having dealt with the uh, issue with not receiving my parts from ls4 King. As of now, I had already contacted my bank and I got advice by another channel. I can't really remember. I'd have to go back and look at the comments, but I'm pretty sure it was like Gas Powered Garage call out to him for giving me reasonable advice that I should have known better already. Contacted my bank directly and explained to them the situation of what I was dealing with. So, as of this moment, I got all of my money back because my bank agreed with me that I obviously knew of his clause on his page saying that, oh, orders aren't going to get shipped out or whatever because they're accommodating a new shop. Okay, but if it's in stock, that's not a part of the building process. So that's where I think the flaw is that I would have only have ordered those parts since they said they were in stock and ready to go. You know, I'm not, it wasn't a rush at 1 month. It is a rush at 4 months. I'm not just praying and hoping that I'll get my money. So contacted my bank regardless. They agreed with me, gave me my money back almost immediately, which was awesome. And so now that I have a little bit of cash, I've decided to get some more parts for this project car, and maybe I'll be able to make, I don't know, some content based on the parts that I make. Obviously, I got new brake lines. We'll run new brake lines for this thing just for the hell of it since I got it up in the air. And it is at 05, so here in Illinois, rusty as hell. If anybody knows anything about Illinois and Chicago, salt everywhere. I got an exhaust pipe that I only just like kind of marked a little bit of the lines for the pie cuts to make a exhaust like a crossover tube for for the exhaust and the turbo, and that I'm kind of up in the air on what I want to do or where I want to mount the turbo. I'll see once I get the torque converter here from what was it, Precision. I think it's Precision is where I got the torque converter from. I'd have to look at my receipt in the email. But yeah, this is just a couple more parts. I can actually start getting this thing together. Hopefully it comes together sooner than later. Run new brake lines, new exhaust for the turbo whenever I can afford that. And then new fuel pump. This I have had for a little bit. That one I was able to get before the fiasco. So my experience with ls4 King at this point, guys, all I'm going to say is if you buy something from that site, you are taking a risk spending your money. As of this moment, I still have received no response from ls4 King. I did receive response from Shopify, but they told me the same thing over and over again, which makes me question whether an actual human even contacted me. They just told me the same thing that the AI helper told me, is that I need to file a complaint. And they disregarded the fact that I had already filed complaints within a 15-day mark and within a 30-day mark of there being an issue. And then they told me that it's my fault I didn't file a complaint soon enough, not bringing up those two prior complaints that I made. So I told them, you guys, my bank is already in the process of helping me. I guess you guys are literally a pointless middleman on the deal. And it reminds me that, they're willing to support someone for a very long duration of time that's been taking advantage of people. I don't like that, so I immediately canceled my Shopify app. I don't think I'm gonna use that anymore. What I will say is that there was another store on Shopify that was wonderful. So I get that they're trying to stay in the clear. They're trying to act like they have no part in what's going on, which is whatever. Like, it's up to, if you use Shopify and all that stuff, the shop app, do your research like hell on the store owner before you spend your money. Like, my example would be, I've bought my camshafts and that fuel pump and a couple other things from Richard Holdener on richardholdenerperformance.com. And that dude is absolutely wonderful. Totally awesome. Knows how to run a business. Him and the other guy he's got helping him they get parts out faster than you would believe. Totally reasonable when there's issues. And he's always in contact with you, and he's always willing to help you, even if you're not there to buy something. You're just there for information. The guy will respond always. He's a good guy. As for ls4 King, guys, for the ls4 community, do your best to probably avoid that place altogether. It seems like he does not have his shit together. And that's all I have to say. I'm not throwing shade, not hating on nobody. I'm just warning everyone who buys parts for their ls4, be careful who you buy your parts from. Make sure that they're going to deliver. Maybe try something small, one part at a time first. Whatever you got to do. Like, I had 4 good experiences with this store, ls4 King, before I had this ridiculous situation. But what I learned is that there were a whole hell of a lot more people that had a worse situation with ls4 King. And so that's why I made that video originally asking for my parts. I have since taken that video down because I am not asking for my parts anymore. I got my money back because I called my bank and they helped me. Hopefully, if anyone is listening and still is waiting for their money, try to contact your bank, explain the situation, and hopefully at this point, hopefully it's not too late, that they can help you and get your money back. If it was recent, I 100% just go to your bank, get help, because this is not fair to the consumer. It's not fair to us enthusiasts. I'm assuming most of the W body community is like me and is not a freaking millionaire. These cars are mildly affordable because people don't like front wheel drive, and obviously they're to the racing community, they're not anything special. So they're not sought after. They're affordable cars. Like, it shouldn't be us stuck in a situation where Pontiac is no longer helping us, and now the community is like eating each other alive. Like, this is pointless. Let's work together on making some parts. And one of the things I was thinking about recently is all these people are talking about offering belt tensioners for this motor. But what I'm going to say is I'm thinking personally of running my next tensioner as a manual adjusted tensioner, and I'm thinking of doing it where the power steering used to mount. Honestly, I mean, I might do the alternator is manual adjust, but I don't see the need for doing a spring-loaded tensioner on this project. So I'll say to any of you guys who are out there making parts, if you can make a cheap, a reasonably affordable, it doesn't have to be nothing, but a reasonably affordable manual tensioner for this car that works, I'll take that. You know, I will always probably run the spring-loaded tensioner on the daily driver as long as they are affordable. But even for that one, I'd go for a manual tensioner at this point, since the concept is obviously cheaper than the spring-loaded one. And we need a solution beyond taking other car parts that eventually probably will also become a limited supply. So if you could use a pulley that's mildly universal, run it on that manual tensioner, like us guys running higher horsepower should be fine at that point, you know. That's I'm thinking about that, because this will have a turbo on this car. I'm thinking of doing something that's a little more reliable than the spring-loaded tensioner. At this rate, I'll do there's a couple ideas I got in the works. I wanted to talk about that one because it seems like a more reasonable idea, since most people in my experience with this community aren't trying to dump $1 million on this car, you know. The transmissions, if you keep it a 4T65, obviously the thing ain't gonna do it. So, and that's not my turbo. That's somebody else left that here. It's too small. I don't know even what that's for. It's probably just a little Chinese thing. But 4T80, we're going to get this on here. Just waiting on a torque converter. Once I get that, I'll mount it in the car, and we'll be able to make an exhaust for it. Start moving ahead on this project, guys. Wish me luck, please. And if not, you know, whatever. If you guys want to see anything or have any questions about my build, go ahead and give me some questions. I'm here just hanging out. My hand is starting to work better now that it's not chopped in half anymore, or exploded in half, I should say. So let's, as the community of ls4 owners, let's work together and make parts, since Pontiac told us to go screw ourselves, or GM in general is just not supporting the ls4. Like, let's keep them going, guys. No sense in fighting over everything. No sense in having to chase down parts either, am I right?